Mexico was supposed to be the ultimate expat paradise, but thousands are quietly packing up and heading south to a country most people can't even locate on a map. Ecuador is pulling off what might be the biggest relocation upset of 2026, and the reasons will completely flip your assumptions about South American living. One reason Ecuador is winning feels counterintuitive, and it's the exact reason Mexico is losing expats right now. The numbers tell a shocking story. While Mexico's expat population growth has flatlined at just 2.3% this year, Ecuador has seen a staggering 47% increase in North American residents. But here's the kicker that nobody saw coming, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about affordable international living. For those ready to dive deeper into relocation strategies, the Horizon Society School Group offers comprehensive guides and insider insights from expats who've made the move successfully. Most people think Ecuador means dangerous cities and unstable politics. Dead wrong. The reality is so different it's almost embarrassing how many expats have been sleeping on this opportunity. Ecuador ranks higher than Mexico in personal safety metrics for foreign residents, with violent crime against expats down 23% year over year. Meanwhile, certain Mexican hotspots have seen the opposite trend. But safety is just the appetizer. The real feast comes when you look at the cost of living numbers that are making financial advisors do double takes. A 3-bedroom house in Cuenca, Ecuador's expat capital, averages $650 monthly. The same quality home in popular Mexican destinations like San Miguel de Allende or Playa del Carmen. Try $1,400 to $2,200. That's not a typo. Ecuador delivers Mexican quality living at roughly half the price, and that gap is widening every month. Healthcare might be where Ecuador delivers its most devastating blow to the competition. The country's public healthcare system ranks 4th in Latin America, ahead of Mexico's 7th place position. Private insurance averages $80 monthly for comprehensive coverage. In Mexico, comparable plans start at $150 and climb fast. Here's where it gets interesting. And there's a visa twist that changes the entire game. Ecuador's retirement visa requires just $1,350 monthly guaranteed income. Mexico's temporary resident visa demands proof of $2,700 monthly income or $43,000 in bank savings. For many retirees, that difference determines whether international living becomes reality or remains a dream. The pensioner visa in Ecuador offers something Mexico can't match: immediate permanent residency after 3 years, with no wealth requirements beyond that modest monthly income. Mexican permanent residency involves significantly more bureaucratic hoops and higher financial thresholds. Would you trade bureaucratic simplicity for familiar convenience? That calculation is driving more decisions than most people realize. Climate delivers another surprise that shatters preconceptions about equatorial living. Ecuador's high-altitude cities like Cuenca and Quito maintain spring-like temperatures year-round. No air conditioning needed, no heating required. Monthly utility bills average $35 compared to Mexico's coastal areas, where cooling costs alone can hit $200 during peak season. The eternal spring climate means clothing expenses drop dramatically too. No winter wardrobe needed, no summer cooling gear required. Expats report clothing budgets shrinking by 60% after relocation. But here's the catch that nobody discusses until they're already committed, and it's bigger than most people anticipate. Internet infrastructure in Ecuador varies dramatically by location. Major cities deliver fiber optic speeds comparable to North American standards, but rural areas still struggle with connectivity issues. For digital nomads, this location dependency can make or break the experience. Research specific neighborhoods before committing, because moving 2 miles can mean the difference between seamless video calls and constant frustration. Food costs reveal another dramatic advantage that compounds monthly savings. Local produce in Ecuador costs roughly 40% less than Mexican equivalents, while imported goods price similarly. The twist? Ecuador uses the US dollar as official currency, eliminating exchange rate anxiety that haunts peso-based budgets. Up to this point, Ecuador sounds like a clear upgrade, but this is where most relocators get the decision wrong. Restaurant meals in Cuenca average $8 for dinner at mid-range establishments. Quito prices run slightly higher at $12 average, still well below Mexican expat destination pricing. Street food culture thrives safely, with ceviche and empanadas available for under $3 per serving. Transportation costs might deliver the biggest shock of all. Cuenca's comprehensive bus system charges 30 cents per ride. Taxis across town rarely exceed $5. Compare that to Mexico's tourist-heavy locations where short rides can cost $15 or more and the monthly savings become substantial. Property taxes in Ecuador average 0.15% of assessed value annually. Mexican property taxes vary wildly by state, often reaching 0.8% or higher in expat popular areas. On a $200,000 home, that's $300 yearly versus $1,600, a difference that compounds significantly over time. But there's an infrastructure reality that changes the equation, and smart expats factor this into their decision matrix early. Ecuador's road infrastructure between major cities remains challenging. Mountain highways require careful driving and can be affected by weather. Domestic flights are limited compared to Mexico's extensive network. This geographic isolation appeals to some expats seeking tranquility but frustrates others missing easy travel options. Banking presents mixed signals that require navigation. US dollar usage simplifies transactions, but international wire transfers can be slower and more expensive than Mexican peso conversions. ATM availability matches Mexican standards in cities but drops off quickly in rural areas. Language immersion happens faster in Ecuador due to lower English prevalence compared to Mexican expat enclaves. This accelerates cultural integration but can initially increase daily life complexity. The trade-off depends on personal language learning goals and comfort with immediate immersion. Cultural integration offers unique advantages that Mexico's saturated expat communities can't replicate anymore. Ecuador's expat population remains small enough that newcomers receive genuine local welcome rather than tourist-focused interactions. Community involvement happens naturally instead of feeling manufactured. Volunteer opportunities abound, from teaching English to environmental conservation projects. Local festivals include expats as genuine participants rather than observers. This authentic cultural exchange creates deeper satisfaction for many relocators. Which option feels most realistic so far? The established comfort of Mexico or Ecuador's emerging opportunities? Education access surprises many families considering relocation with children. Ecuador offers excellent private schooling at costs well below Mexican international school tuition. Quito's international schools charge $4,000 annually compared to $12,000 in popular Mexican expat cities. University education costs make Ecuador particularly attractive for families with college-aged children. Tuition at Ecuador's top universities averages $2,000 yearly for international students, compared to $8,000 plus in Mexico. The social scene develops differently than Mexico's established expat networks. Ecuador requires more initiative to build friendships, but those connections tend to be deeper and more authentic. Facebook groups and expat meetups exist but remain intimate rather than overwhelming. Here's the financial reality that clinches the decision for most budget-conscious relocators, and the numbers are more dramatic than anticipated. Total monthly living costs in Ecuador's expat-friendly cities average $1,200 to $1,800 for couples, including housing, food, utilities, and entertainment. Comparable Mexican lifestyle costs range from $2,200 to $3,500 monthly. That $1,000 to $1,700 monthly difference creates $12,000 to $20,400 annual savings. Investment potential adds another layer to the financial equation. Ecuador's real estate market shows steady growth without Mexico's speculation-driven volatility. Property purchases require smaller down payments, and rental yields often exceed 8% annually in expat areas. Business opportunities exist but require more creativity than Mexico's established service economy for expats. Ecuador's growing expat population creates demand for specialized services, from property management to cultural integration consulting. The legal framework for starting businesses favors foreign investment, with streamlined incorporation processes and reasonable tax structures for small enterprises. However, The smaller market size means slower scaling compared to Mexican opportunities. Immigration services present the final piece of the puzzle that seals Ecuador's advantage for many relocators. The process is genuinely straightforward, with clear requirements and reasonable processing times. Mexican residency applications have become increasingly complex and unpredictable. Ecuador's immigration officials typically speak English and understand expat needs. Document requirements are specific but achievable. The entire process from application to approval averages 4 to 6 months, compared to Mexico's increasingly lengthy timelines. Renewal processes remain simple, with minimal bureaucratic hassle. Long-term residents report positive experiences with immigration services, unlike the frustration many expats express with Mexican bureaucracy. The final consideration that determines success involves realistic expectation setting about what Ecuador offers versus what it lacks. Ecuador excels at delivering affordable, comfortable living with genuine cultural immersion. The pace of life is slower, the cost of living is dramatically lower, and the expat community remains intimate and welcoming. Healthcare is excellent, climate is perfect, and visa requirements are manageable. Ecuador struggles with limited entertainment options compared to Mexico's established infrastructure. Shopping variety is more limited, international flights require connections, and rural internet can be problematic. The learning curve is steeper due to less established expat support systems. Would you rather pay premium prices for established convenience or invest sweat equity into building something more affordable and authentic? The decision ultimately comes down to priorities and personality. Mexico offers expat comfort at increasing cost with growing crowds. Ecuador delivers financial freedom with authentic cultural immersion, but requires more adaptability and initiative. Smart relocators research both options thoroughly, visit personally, and make decisions based on actual experience rather than assumptions. The wrong choice becomes expensive quickly, while the right choice creates years of satisfaction and financial benefit. For mobile data when exploring either destination, a Saili eSIM link is available below for seamless connectivity. Flight prices for scouting trips can be checked using the Kiwi link in the description to compare costs and routing options. Ecuador's rise represents more than just another relocation option. It signals a shift toward value-conscious international living that prioritizes substance over style, authenticity over convenience, and long-term financial health over short-term comfort. The expats making this move aren't chasing trends or Instagram-worthy lifestyles. They're building sustainable international lives that work financially and personally. They're choosing Ecuador because it offers what Mexico promised but no longer delivers at reasonable cost. The window of opportunity won't last forever. As word spreads and expat populations grow, costs will inevitably rise and opportunities will become more competitive. Early adopters are positioning themselves for maximum benefit, while Ecuador still offers insider advantages. The question isn't whether Ecuador will become the next major expat destination. The question is whether smart relocators will recognize the opportunity before it becomes mainstream and expensive. The choice is clear for anyone prioritizing financial sustainability over familiar convenience. Ecuador offers everything Mexico promised at half the price, with better visa terms and authentic cultural integration. The only question is whether you'll recognize the opportunity before everyone else catches on. Mexico is no longer the safe default. Ecuador is the opportunity most people won't see until it's gone. Check the description below for comprehensive cost breakdowns, detailed visa information, and access to the Horizon Society School Group, where experienced expats share insider knowledge and practical advice for successful international relocation. Accommodation research for your scouting trip can be handled through the Expedia Hotel link below for competitive pricing and verified reviews.